Good morning, fellow Rotarians.
Good morning.
October 11th, in this difficult week that we're having. Who has the pledge today?
I do. Face the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And who has a thought for today?
As he said he would. Oprah Winfrey tells us about adversity. I thought was a good topic for today. And she says, let's turn our wounds into wisdom.
Here I am.
Joe,
Hi, Bill.
what kind of a song do you have that would be appropriate for
I
today?
thought first I would share something with everyone. Some of you already told the story to. Went to work yesterday, and those of you who know Mary Riley, Mary Graves, and Steve. So I look down at my phone and it says, pick it up. She says, hi Joe, Mary here. She said, my house burned and my car is gone. I'll be over in an hour to buy a car. I'm like, oh my God, you know. And so she shows up and I'm talking to her and I'm acting like it's a loved one. You know, her age. She said, the crime's over. I'm looking forward to rebuilding. And the attitude was amazing. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that are like that. We're all a little bit somber, understandably, but, you know, there's nothing we do about that stuff. We just got to move on and make the most of it. So she's looking forward to rebuilding. I think we all can help people like her. That said, this land is yours. Okay?
Okay.
As I was walking that river highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Thank you, Joe. It is a pleasure to see everyone here. I don't have Beatles tie on today, but I have to say I'm especially happy to see Lori and Nikki, because I know they're the furthest east and the closest to danger of our current membership. And so far everything is okay with them. They may be packed and ready to go, but so far so good. I don't have my computer today. We have some unexpected house guests, and one of them is living in our spare room where I have my computer, so I wasn't able to do a PowerPoint presentation, but I think we're going to survive without that. Visiting Rotarians today.
We do have some visiting Rotarians.
Yes.
Eve, but that's okay. We have Susan, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Susan Bowe from the Valley of the Moon. Thank you for making it, Susan. Good morning, Susan. Thank God Susan is with us. And we also have, go
Can we
ahead.
interrupt for just a second and just have Susan give us a kind of a little update on what's going on over there? Oh.
Good morning, everyone. It's really, thank you for your warm welcome. I really don't have much news. At 4:30 this morning, the way it was described was flames are licking at an oak crotch. So we don't know, but live in hope, and we'll move on, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Welcome.
And we have a couple of other guests potentially from areas that have been involved with Larry and Marilyn Lira from Santa Rosa East, Larry in woodworking and Marilyn in manufacturing. Thanks for coming, you guys, and we hope, pray everything is all right. Maybe you can give us a little update about your status.
Yes, Santa Rosa East, we have 3 people who have definitely lost their homes. One of them is living with us right now. We are pretty sure there's another home that's going to be gone, and we have 6 or 8 people who have been evacuated, so we don't know about them. We don't know. We happen to live out this way, so we're okay. And I think that's about it right now. And that's my husband there.
Welcome, Larry. For those of you that don't know, Larry was one of the drivers on the Pedal for Polio and supported us all the way from Crescent City down to Petaluma. Thanks again, Larry. That's all the visiting locations. Do we have any?
Nick.
Yes, we do.
Nick.
Did I catch you with food?
Yes, you did.
Oh, good.
And Natalie is with us once again.
Welcome, Larry.
Was that like?
Okay. Just a quick update on the latest information that I have. So far in Sonoma County, 27,000 acres have burned. 16,000 structures are threatened. 571 structures were confirmed destroyed. Of those, around 500 were homes. And then, of course, we know about a number of the businesses, the Cricklewood Restaurant, the Kmart, the Applebee's, and places like that. There has been 11 confirmed fatalities. They expect to find more because so far all of the effort from first responders has been on getting people out of places where they are in danger and making sure that people are safe, that they can keep track of. They have not been trying to save structures that are going on fire. And if they make an attempt to make sure that a place is empty and they don't hear any response, then they move on quickly because they have so many other structures at risk and so many other lives at risk. So there are many cases where they suspect there are people that are in those homes that just burned to the ground, particularly the early ones. They have not had time to go back and even look for the bodies because at this point there's nothing they can do for them, but there is potentially good that they can do for people that have not been affected yet. So that death toll will rise. A couple other things. I started listening to KSRO radio, and they have been phenomenal. Their information is accurate and constantly updated all day long. They have people calling with questions if they don't know the answer. They've got people that they're hooked up to in the Sonoma County Department of Emergency Services, the fire departments, CAL FIRE. They've had interviews with Jared Huffman, Mike McGuire, county supervisors. One of our county supervisors lost their home. So lots of good information. Last night they hosted an online or a live town meeting forum, and they were answering questions and unbelievably thorough responses. And it was rare that somebody there didn't know the answer to those questions, and they were particularly good. Michael.
That was streamed live on Facebook, so that's why everybody can look at it. I watched it for about half an hour.
Okay, yeah. Well, the good thing about Facebook, if you have still have an internet connection, that works great if you can. AM radio is typically one of the best because it reaches out. Mike?
Have to be meeting with Dr. Jude, so that the local angle, when Sutter and Kaiser were shut down and 30 patients were sent to our little hospital for care, and some of them were sent on to other facilities when they as needed. They all pulled together and did a great job at the little switch station. When I was there, the surgeon head of the heart unit at Sutter was visiting there, because he had a patient in that hospital. And he was saying, you know, from our side of things, you wonder, why does this hospital even exist? And he said, but here we are, and we're glad it's here. So that's our little update.
Bruce?
Excuse me for not standing up for my usual, thank you. I don't know if any of you happen to know or was carrying up in South Ukiah by the name of Cy Ramos. He runs a catering business, and he lives up in Redwood Valley. And if you've been watching the news or hearing anything, Redwood Valley is the center of the fire up there. Unfortunately, Cy's daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughter are all in the hospital because of the fire. He lost his business, he lost his barn, and the most sad part about it is he lost his grandson. His grandson is one of the 3 fatalities up in Montesino. So if you happen to run into Cy or anybody from South Ukiah Rotary Club, just keep them in their thoughts.
We have another former member, John Paulson, who left us just less than 6 months ago and moved to the Oakmont area. In addition, I know of at least 2 members of the new club, Harry Polly and Jerry Warren, that are also now living in Oakmont. Oh, that's right. Okay, has anybody got any information on any of those folks?
I know some are staying at Bob Rogers. I got okay.
Harry's traveling.
Okay. Well, what about?
I think Brad is too.
Bill, I just want to mention that about the Boy Scouts, and that's that we're having a meeting tomorrow night at the leadership of the Boy Scout Council. We'll be building, we believe, sifter boxes, if you're familiar with our project when we had the Lake County fire, so that people can go through their stuff, take a shovel full of stuff and shake it and get their valuables out. And so we'll be meeting tomorrow to get that plan. The other thing is we have many scouters also who have lost their homes and their scouts, and we will, particularly for our low-income scouts, be wanting to get used uniforms for them, because uniforms can be expensive, to make sure that they are uniformed for their scouting activities. But the most important thing to help people will be building these sifter boxes, and so we'll be starting on that soon and get those out as soon as possible.
Marty, do you know when and where that will occur? Or
I will call you and we can get the word out through.
Okay, we'll get out email to.
Yeah, I will look. We're going to have a meeting. We wanted to wait a day, so we'll be meeting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. to make the plans for this.
President Bill.
Do you want both?
President Bill.
Yeah, I will tell Bill, once I go to the meeting tomorrow, I'll find out where they're going to do it and what times and so forth. And we'll be making them probably, we're in Mendocino County, our council, so we'll be doing it for the people in Mendocino County as well.
Okay. Question, how would information like that be disseminated to victims? Is that something that we could get to somebody like KSRO Radio or?
Yes, but what we want to do is, they have this down to a science of how to make these things.
We did it last time, and they built, 1,000 of them. And so we have people on our executive board who, like in Mendocino County, owns a lumber company. And that's where we got the wood, and we used some of the buildings over in the Roseland Center there by Sonic Net to build them. So we anticipate probably this weekend we'll be doing, but I will call you, give you the information, you can put it out, because they probably will need adult supervision.
Okay. One other question, how about the people whose homes have burned and will be needing them? How do they find out about that?
Well, we will get it out into the media once we have them available to be picked up, and we probably will take them to shelters. That's what we did last time up in Lake County.
Okay.
So we will get them out to people, and of course, through the Press Democrat.
Were there any leftover from Lake County that could be reused?
I can't answer that.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Well, there is a central number that Sonoma County is manning that answers questions relating to the emergency and resources that are available. I did want to thank some of the members of the Rotary Club here that responded to my email and came to the Annalee Gym to help with the food effort, including principally Mike McLaughlin and Jerry and Scott and Nick and Michael, and there were others as well, and I'm sorry if I forgot your names, but I did want to thank you for that. And I'm sure that almost everyone in this room has done their own bit to respond to the fire, so thanks to all. Final bit, our speaker today, Andrew Bailey from the Inova School, has not been able to come because that school was burnt to the ground. And it's a school on Mark Springs Road. It's a school that services kids on the spectrum, autistic kids. So Andrew is frantically looking for space, temporary and over the medium term, to hold classes for the 120 students that I understand are displaced, and obviously Cardinal Newman and there are other schools as well.
Yeah, I saw videos of Cardinal Newman, and it was burned to the ground.
Half of it, half of it.
Matt beat me to it, but I wanted to really acknowledge, in true Rotarian fashion, putting a word out and the kind of response that got, especially Matt and Michael, Chef Michael here, said, we're going to make some chicken soup for lunch for the evacuees at Annalee. And, we went out and got shopping and bought stuff for soup. And Michael was there directing, and Matt was, I think, de facto in charge of the,
I was being coordinated.
He turned out to be the coordinator for the food at the shelter at Annalee High School. And then some of the family members, Matt's family there, my wife and daughter that was visiting, helped out serving at night, and a lot of other people volunteered there at Annalee. And then Michael said, okay, the next day, yesterday, we're going to make some chili. And, a bunch of volunteers there chopping onions, till their eyes were bleeding. And, all the ingredients, and Michael slaving over the stove, burned his hand, second-degree burn on his hand, Anyway, these guys were true Rotarian, come to the rescue kind of guys.
Michael Fells and his family too. That's things to say here about being a drug
Bill, just a question to, our president-elect, Matt. He mentioned he'd gotten the word out. Some of us didn't get the word. So how did you get the word out?
He emailed a few people.
Yeah, I just emailed the guys that, I don't know exactly, some of the past presidents or someone, with people that
We have an easy email distribution capability. If you get all of Michael Fells or myself or Bill, we can get that out to everybody with a single email. So I would recommend that if we're going to do something like this, we use our existing communication needs so we all know about it. We never heard about it.
There'll be plenty of opportunities.
yeah, there are volunteer opportunities today at the Annalee if you're interested.
And I'm going to give a special thanks to what I call a larger Rotarian spirit group. I've spent the last 48 hours at the Sebastopol Community Church, where we had a shelter set up where we slept probably about 40 people the first night, fed them for 2 nights. What was amazing was this: we had responses almost from the beginning. Certainly from large commercial ventures. I remember the people from Sebastopol Hardware immediately sent over 40 cases of water and asked if they could replace that whenever. We had sandwiches and fruit from Pacific, a number of other people. But what was more heartwarming than that were the people. We sent out word that we needed cots, blow-up mattresses, and linen. We wound up having so much that we donated in the end to Amelie and the other shelters. We had grandmothers who were in their 80s coming and bringing homemade snacks and foods. We had kids as young as 7-year-old bringing their toys so that the young children and babies that we had something to play with. We had teenagers, more than I can count, from literally all high schools in the area, who came, who set up, who did anything that needed to be done, and kept coming back begging for more than they could do. And I don't think this was to put on their college applications. They all wanted to help. So I wound up being extraordinarily proud to live in Sebastopol. I went home after 2 nights extremely weary, but feeling amazing that I lived here when people would react like this. And I'm sure every one of you has a similar story.
Just to let folks know, the Earl Baum Center is, all the staff are safe and accounted for. Not everybody is home, not everybody may be able to get back to their homes. Our board members, again, same thing, safe, but may or may not have homes left. We're still contacting clients and being a resource for the hundreds of people out there with vision loss. And we have a member who's very involved in that, Richard Ruby, who does disaster preparedness for vulnerable populations. So we were closed on Monday because we were too close to the evacuation center. We reopened yesterday for limited services, and we're trying to reopen again today to be a resource for those with sight loss in the area. So I want to give people, and thanks to all of you for your calls of concern and your donation and support. We really appreciate it. You make a big difference to those who need a little bit of additional help in difficult times.
Question, I just saw this. There's a gentleman looking for a site for these children, and would the Earl Baum Center be a good fit for him to possibly have a short-term location for these children?
Well, we're still trying to serve all the people with sight loss that we have, so we can look into that, but that's,
It's just top of mind.
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
we'll take
there's
that
a
offline.
place, you have a big center, it's making that happen.
We can take that offline and consider that. Thanks.
So I just want to let you know, I too can be a resource for your friends who have insurance questions. Please refer them to me and I will help them through this situation. Many of you know my 4th son, Matt, and he lost his house and sadly his dog, who lived in the Pioneer Road area. But the good news is, the reason he wasn't home is he had his little baby, Jackson Thomas. They were at Memorial, baby's healthy, mama's healthy, and we will rebuild.
And you're a grandma.
And I'm a grandma again.
Judy, when you were talking about young people reaching out and helping, I got a text from Ethan Del Monte, the exchange student who returned from a year away in Brazil. He contacted me and said, hey, can you get those Rotarians going and get them over here to the Sebastopol Community Church? I said, what's needed? And he didn't exactly know, so I went over, and they didn't need anything right then, but it kind of got me started. And I realized that if people were going to be bringing pets to these shelters, many of them were going to be coming without crates. So I connected with the Humane Society and got crates starting to get delivered to places and did some delivery. That worked out real well. And I was just real proud that Ethan would, would
I think some of that message got through.
have the strength. Yeah, it's kind of a nice thing that we did.
I'd just like to say that in times of disaster like this, you kind of really find out who your friends are. And we have some really good friends in Sebastopol Hardware and in Pacific Market and in Furcrest Market. All three of them just opened up the doors and gave us everything that we needed. And the same cannot be said of Chains. So let's remember that in the future.
Lucky years.
Although I have to say, at Rayleigh's, I went down, I'm driving for John in the morning, and we typically down in that area pick up donuts for his picnic cruise. And I got to Rayleigh's on Monday morning when everything was shut down. There was no power in that situation, and the parking lot was full of evacuees. People standing around crying and hugging each other in their pajamas. And Rayleigh's had just opened up the doors. They didn't have any cash registers. They only had emergency lighting, but they opened up the doors and were just feeding people. So, yeah, it's very heartwarming.
Yeah, one of the things we probably what are we doing as a Rotary district? What are we doing as a Rotary district? Jennifer Strong, who is in Clear Lake Club or Lakeport Club? Lakeport. One of the things that she did, because this is what she did for the Valley Fire, was say, okay, on a clearinghouse, you let me know if you have rooms, we'll send you a Rotarian. That's how we got Susan and her partner staying with us. So we had that connection with Jennifer, and at the district level, District Governor Bob is working on several things that we can do as a district. Probably not on the immediate response, but more as part of the rebuilding and helping our fellow Rotarians rebuild their lives.
So we don't inundate Jennifer, and I know she's kind of busy. I sent an email around late last night, which many of you probably haven't seen. If you do have, thank you, planning for responding. If you do have room either on a short term or I would consider medium term, month, 2 months, something like that. Get it to me and we'll coordinate that, getting it up to Jennifer. Otherwise, she's going to have 300 Rotarians trying to get all of her, and we'll coordinate that through our club.
Bob Rogers has also sent me an email and notified me that the Noon Club has developed a roster of members who are making their homes available for any evacuees as is necessary, so we can perhaps coordinate with what we're doing here with what the Noon Club is doing as well.
I thought I would just mention, Michael did a good job, but as of 3 in the morning, Dr. Good had gotten the word of the fire and gone over to the hospital and organized the doctors to come in. He told me that the residents from Sutter came over to help at Sonoma West, that nurses from Sutter showed up and said, well, we can't work at Sutter, so how can we help here? Most of the people over there worked at least 12 to 14 hours straight, starting on Monday, and they've been working straight through. At one point they had people in the conference room, they doubled up all of the single rooms, and they had people on gurneys in the hall, and they had the helicopter coming in, and the ambulances coming in. So we can be very proud of our little hospital, because it has been serving the community straight through. And even though, as is typical, you may not hear anything about it on the radio or see anything about it in the newspapers, since we seem to be typically not in that cycle, we nevertheless have to say we have an amazing little hospital, and thank God it's open.
I'm just going to add one more thing to what Gail has said, not specifically about the hospital. There are a lot of things we're going to hear about that people did. There are going to be more things that we'll never hear about, that people stepped up to do. And one of the things that she reminded me of is when we had things being set up at the hospital, we wound up having one doctor, 2 registered nurses who came over to the church, who set up a triage center for people who were coming in with either smoke-related damage or possibly with the flu, and we didn't want them in a mass room, sleeping with other people. You're not going to hear a lot about these people. Everybody thought what they could best do, came without any fanfare, did it. My guess is this story was repeated 1,000 times, and that you all know about those instances. So we need to be very, very proud of this community, and this is a model. This is a model that a lot of the rest of the country could learn from. So I'm very proud to be here.
Speaking of folks to shout out to, Series. You guys know that Series opened up and started rolling? How cool is that?
They served dinner the last 2 nights at,
Yeah, in that regard, Series Project is, has been delivering meals to evacuation centers and shelters, and delivered breakfasts and dinners to the shelter at Amley High since the crisis began, and continues to do so, and we'll be serving breakfast this morning. So, and I gotta tell you, the outflowing of donations and assistance was just staggering. In fact, there were logistical problems associated with trying to redeploy the assets and donations that were coming into Amley High. It's just phenomenal. There were police out in front of the place, trying to stop the donations. So, I mean, lots of people involved, and I suspect everyone in this room is involved.
Also, if you ever happen to see Jennifer Strong from the Lakeport Rotary Club, she's absolutely amazing, because this last weekend on Saturday, she was the ride director for the Lakeport Rotary Canocti Challenge that my daughter and I did. And she was saying on Saturday, announcing to the crowd that she'd been up since 3 o'clock in the morning organizing the ride that happened that day. And when I saw that she sent out an email that she wants, she's going to be the coordinator for the district, she's an amazing person. What a real Rotarian. She was the Rotarian of the Year last year.
I'm sorry?
I was going to ask, is somebody going to talk, or are we going to recognize all of our first responders?
Yeah. Would you like to say something? Other than,
I can, or anybody can, but they've been in evidence, they ask for nothing, they work until they drop, and they keep going. They are amazing.
I've been to several stores, and it seems like half of the people there are buying stuff to take to fire departments, police, National Guard, and just going down, because schools have been shut down. I ran into a guy with his kids he was teaching them to pay it forward by making sure they were helping out, pick out the donuts to take down.
So they, here in town, Diana Rich at the Community Center, Steve Kellner, District Superintendent of West County High Schools, and Jenny, and I don't know Jenny's last name, but she's the facility coordinator for that district. They were all in on this fairly early on Sunday and continue to work at the school long hours, and it's pretty amazing how everyone sort of came to the task with such energy.
So I just wanted to share some reflection. I'm very fortunate. I know many of us know people and very affected by the fire. I'm fortunate to be in a privileged position of reflection as opposed to, the crisis and these feelings of fear and sadness. We've all been affected by this. And I was just for thoughts about how I was trying to wrap my mind around this. I think in crisis, with fire and disaster does strike all across the world, the best of humanity comes forward, you know. So it's both a catastrophe and a masterpiece at the same time. And we get to share stories on both sides of that. The masterpiece being all of these homes, all of this complete destruction of people's lives. There is now a new beginning. And that's where the best of humanity gets to really rise. Like there couldn't be a more qualified group of people here. This is a life calling for them to help others. And the masterpiece will begin in its rightful time. I think Round Barn for me symbolizes kind of the spirit of Santa Rosa. Even though the old Round Barn is gone, the new Round Barn will begin. And there couldn't be a better, more qualified county of builders, architects, pavers, roofers. I mean, there's so much skilled talent here. If we look at the glass half full, imagine Round Barn rebuilt by all of the heart and spirit of Santa Rosa, where we all volunteer. And I know homes need to be built first, but we won't let the vision of destruction overshadow the vision of what we can do, the spirit of who we are. There's no stopping the human spirit. There's no challenge too great that we can't overcome. And we're all these beautiful beacons of light. And when we come together, our beacon is greater than the sun. You know, we just have so much power, so much creativity, and so much promise. So if I could just share that, I just want to share that with you in this time of life.
I just thought I'd say what I thought was really cool. Senator, this was last night at 9:45 p.m. Senator Mike McGuire on KTVU just now. Every firefighting aircraft in the USA is either here or on their way now to California. Every single one.
Yeah. He also announced that on Monday they had flown more missions in a single day than at any other day in history. So everything they had were, you know, we didn't see it because of all the smoke, but they were doing everything they could.
And the biggest one that holds the most amount of fire retardant showed up from Colorado. I was on the news this morning, so they're here.
Is that 747?
Yeah.
20,000, which is like 1,800.
Yeah.
It's happening. And another thing, in Rohnert Park at the Home Depot parking lot, this big farmer's van is there. So people with farmer's insurance, literally, there's this huge van for people to just get help. And you can sign up for FEMA and your insur and in the insurance, and they'll pay for your housing. So.
If you can find it. The Hannah restaurant in Rohnert Park posted they're giving away 300 meals free every day.
Which?
The Hannah Japanese restaurant
Yes.
are providing 300 meals every day.
Trader Joe's is emptying their entire store and giving every bit of food away, like the whole store.
So, some of you remember Guillen Bernal, our exchange student from Spain. He just checked in and said, hey, I'm reading about what's going on. Are you guys all okay? So if you don't mind, I'm going to take your picture. You wave it. You're all right, okay? Party smile. Wait a second. There you go. Wait a minute.
Hurry up, Dan.
Done.
So if we're not actually having a program, we did pretty well. We filled up the time anyway. We do have a raffle, but before we do, I guess I would ask that everyone continue to stay in touch with each other, share with each other. As Bruce pointed out, sometimes we have gone individually. Let's use the P-mail system through DAC-DD so that everyone gets the message. If it's appropriate, if it's something that we want the general public to know about as well, let's get it onto our website and maybe perhaps someone get it off to KSRO Radio. I think KSRO Radio, from everything that I have found, has been the best resource for timely, accurate, up-to-date news, information about what's going on.
I think I should postpone the membership committee meeting for this week, so please disregard the committee meeting, and are we going to do a board meeting on Monday?
I don't know. Right now, my computer room, the spare room I have, we've got guests that I don't know. My son's, a member of my son's band, his brother's house burned down. The brother moved in with his mother and grandparents, and they got evacuated. So they all showed up at Glenn's house. The mother and Josh are staying at Glenn's, and the grandparents and the brother who lost the home are at our house. So I haven't been able to get into my computer. I'll see what I can do with my phone, and I just don't know. We're in a little bit of an unknown period. Bruce.
If anybody hasn't heard, if you text your zip code, 888-777, and the nationwide and is focused on us right now, network of emergency response notifications from the sheriff's office, from Cal Fire, from the police department in Santa Rosa, and it has been absolutely excellent. They come out with very, very accurate and up-to-date information, and when occasionally they get some incorrect information, they correct it fairly quickly. There was an incorrect notification that there was an area in the back of Mulberry Market, the place was supposedly evacuated, and half an hour later they came out and said, no, we had some miscommunication on this Annandale Heights, not Pacific Heights. So I would highly recommend for those of you who want to follow, have friends in the area, 888-777, zip code, and text message every time you send it.
Who would like to hold the winning ticket for the lottery?
Good enough.
Jim, good enough.
Good enough.
Yeah! Jimmy, good enough.
Induct that guy.
And the winning number is last four, 8687. Come on back up.
Another one. 8,700. Thursday.
Okay, 7944.
7-9.
Third time to charge.
3-7.
Maybe we didn't start a lot of things today.
That's last week's date.
Did anyone buy it?
Okay.
8656.
Operator error.
Thank you, Mark.
8656?
No, just full line.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Marty. You want to bet on the game?
7935.
I'll bet $5.
We're getting closer.
Torch Rotary.
7933.
It's the Cougars, because yours are 6-0.
8703. Hey!
Let's do get Richard. Another Ford.
All right, Joe. Pick the winning card. The consolation prize furnished by, who's that, Luke? Who had the consolation prize?
Thank you, whoever.
I watched somebody.
Whatever it is. Good work.
So, to stand up, everybody stand up,
Okay.
and let's all join hands. Or you can, Bruce, you can say something. Yeah.
Okay.
Joe, take us out.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
Make sure. Thank you.